shop for wrestling talk. We're talking champs v contenders, rookies v vets, and shoots v works. I am your host, the Triple Crown Champ. Let's get into it. Hear ye, hear ye, the champ is hear ye. So let's talk about what I felt was a pretty uneventful week on Raw this week. So much so I wasn't even going to do a video, but here we are. So we start at the top of the show where CM Punk sticks his nose in business that does not concern him. I mean, to be fair, he does have an on-running beef with Seth Rollins, but you know, So yeah, I personally don't think he really belongs in this one. I feel like it's because he's a top of the card entertainer and this is a top of the card feud and he's not involved. He's been interjected somehow. I don't really see a need for it, to be honest. Maybe spin him off into something else. It would have been interesting to see him and Sami Zayn go at it for a little while again. I mean, face versus face, it will be interesting. We're rooting for both of them. Maybe we can have some really, really good matches. We'll see how that works. But I think that would be an interesting angle for them to go into right now. As far as the whole Seth Rollins new faction, again, I also think, along with a lot of people, that there's going to be another wrestler embedded into that. I don't know who that is yet. No clues so far. There's been clues, though, that Seth Rollins has laid in the last episode of Raw, whispering in Bron Breakker's ear. But aside from that, yeah, I don't know who it would be, but I don't think that feud needs CM Punk in it. I don't think that feud needs CM Punk in it at all whatsoever. I think that's good with just him and Jey Uso. Logan Paul on the peripherals, we all know that's going to end. We know that Jey Uso is definitely going to beat Logan Paul. It's like his first real defense. Yeah, he had that match with Seth Rollins, but this will be his real first defense, I guess, at main event against Logan Paul, which we all know he's going to beat him. There's no way Logan Paul is picking up the world title right now. So let's move on. Just something I want us to put in our mind. I'm just playing with you here. Your champ is just playing with you here when he says, no Liv Morgan, no ratings. I'm sure the ratings on Raw dropped a little bit because the show was a little bit slow this week. And it's coincidental that no Liv Morgan means that the show is a little bit slow and a little bit uninteresting. Also, Finn Balor versus AJ Styles. God, dream match. I have watched these matches. They said there was 4 of them in the past. I saw all of them, and for me, it really is a dream match to see AJ versus Finn. I never quite know who to root for because, quite frankly, both of them, that's my Mount Rushmore. I'm not that old. So, Finn Balor and AJ Styles are 2 wrestlers on my personal Mount Rushmore. I'm not saying they're on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. I'm saying my personal Mount Rushmore of wrestling. There's a place for AJ Styles and there's a place for Finn Balor. There's also a place for Undertaker and Triple H. But anyway, yeah, so that's a dream match for me at any point. And I will say it didn't quite live up, especially this time. Ones in the past have lived up pretty well. This one, being that it was on Raw and, you know, it wasn't a main event, it was just kind of, it was whatever. But Finn Balor and AJ for me is top of the card, main event, pay-per-view level match, purely because it's, again, a dream match, but I've seen what they can do in these matches. And I really, really miss the Demon. Tell me if there's any fans out there that also miss the Demon. The Demon is part of the reason I love Finn Balor, to be honest, because when I saw the Demon gimmick, I was just in awe. Wow. The greatest presented image I had seen since The Undertaker, and that's essentially why I fell in love with Finn Balor. Anyway, so moving on to just another little thing I noticed. Ivy Nile. I like Ivy Nile. I've always liked Ivy Nile. I like the way she presents. I like the image. I like her wrestling ability, although we don't get to see all that much of it. She came out with Chad Gable for his match, and then didn't come out with American made for their match. I thought that was a little bit weird. And then the promo where Chad Gable came out with all of American made and stood there, there was he was looking at her really odd, one of the brother that is in a relationship with her. I wonder if there was something underlying there. I mean, I don't want to speculate into people's relationship, but it was kind of odd, just the dynamic between them two. She was at the front, she couldn't see him, but he just kept looking at her. Anyway, so if you go back, some of you might see what I'm talking about in that segment. It looked like they had just had an argument behind the curtain and then came out to the match. Something that had progressed throughout the night, because it was really weird that she didn't show up for the Creed brothers match. So, but what I really need to say about Ivy Nile is, I don't think the Pitbull Ivy Nile character works. And I think it might have to do with the fact that she is possibly a very, very nice person. Sometimes there's a dynamic, not always. Sometimes there's a dynamic where really nice people play villains really well, and really not nice people play heroes very well. I think this has been exemplified in the wrestling business several times over. You take someone like Snooker, look at that. So, I mean, I could go on for days and days on examples, but that's just one perfect example. But sometimes it also works in the other way. Sometimes people who are really nice just don't know how to portray angry, mean, evil characters, and I don't think she does the mean character very well. I think she does the actions in the wrestling moment, like attacking people and looking like that, but she generally in between, she doesn't present as mean. She has very strong, pronounced features, but so does someone like Robin Wright and Katie Sackhoff. And look at how amazingly beautiful and talented like those ladies are with those features. They became models. I think Ivy Nile has very strong, hard, pronounced features. But the second she smiles, even when it's supposed to be an evil smile, it's a very sweet, nice smile. And I think that goes together with who she is as a person, not necessarily the character of Ivy Nile, but who she is as a person. And it seems like she struggles very much with playing the villain, because in American Made, she seems to, I think she sticks out. She wrestles like they do. She's a mat technician, but I don't see the meanness in her. I really don't. Maybe this is just me and I'm reaching too far. Feel free to let me know. Every opportunity to comment in the comments section, get the discourse started. Another person I think doesn't portray heel very well is Becky Lynch. I don't think she does it very well. I really don't. This feud between Lyra, she is just so entertaining and so funny. The taking out the garbage, and the Lyra's recycling. Oh my God, I laughed for about 10 minutes straight. I am not messing with you. I laughed hard. It was so funny. The way she said it, the way she delivered it, it was hilarious. And I find it hard to take her serious as a villain, because even when she's being mean, she is just, it's lovable, it's funny, it's like, it's more of an anti-hero than anything else. You kind of find it funny that someone would behave like this, but you enjoy them for entertaining you in this bad behavior, almost. So I think, and I've always found that with Becky. I found it, as I said before in another video, the night she lost the three-way match for the title and beat up everybody who was involved in the match at the end. She did the bad thing, but she was really good at it. So I think her as a heel is not necessarily the way to go, because she's going to entertain us whichever the way, and the effect of hating her is just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. In addition, man, her promos. This pretty much alludes to what I'm just saying before. Her promos are so good, so entertaining, so funny, and kind of to the bone in a way. To the bone in a way, but also wildly ridiculous, because you know there's a lot of love between Bailey Bailey and Becky. You know there's respect between them, and you know there's love between Lyra and Becky, but just the way she delivers some of this is chef's kiss. So that takes us on to the main event of the night. This was awesome. This is awesome, the fans chanted, and it was. Rhea and Io versus Julia and Roxanne Perez. Absolutely phenomenal match, wrestled well. I think we should know at this point that all four of those performers are absolutely excellent. But what I want to focus on towards the end of this is, I really believe something I also said in another video, alluding back, is the fact that I think Roxanne Perez is your Money in the Bank winner. There is a smaller possibility it would be Julia, but I don't think Julia is as over as Roxanne Perez, especially if you look at the amount of time they've been putting into Roxanne Perez. I think maybe Julia at this point might actually be a disguise. She is a Trojan horse. So if you look at Roxanne and Julia, they've both come up, they're together, they're in a way running roughshod, they're taking on matches. I mean, they're not necessarily winning, but they're putting on excellent performances in the matches that they're in, whichever one it is. However, Roxanne is getting a lot more time. I think Julia is a Trojan horse in a sense of what I said before. It's possible that Julia could be the one winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, but it's more likely that it's actually Roxanne Perez. If you take into consideration someone like Tiffany Stratton, how fast she came up from NXT and won the Money in the Bank and grabbed the title. Roxanne Perez, if you look at her NXT career, you can see why it's sensible to put the Money in the Bank on her, because at any point within the next, year and a half? Whatever the distance, it's essentially a year, because Money in the Bank after the next pay-per-view is the next pay-per-view. So a year and a month. But in the space of that time, Roxanne Perez could easily become women's champion or WWE champion, women's champion, because she has the ability in every way. I was watching a match she was in, I think last week, and I was watching her transitions between roll-ups, not pins, roll-ups. And I stated the fact that roll-ups are particularly difficult because of the science of it. By the time you're rolled up on your shoulder, you have 1 more second to catch your balance to be able to leverage your legs to kick out. If you haven't done that by count 2, you're going to get hit by count 3. And that's the end of the match. That's the science of why you watch a match and the wrestler's shocked that they got rolled up. That's essentially the science behind that. However, the roll up is real. You do have to catch your balance and kick out, despite the fact that we're in kayfabe here. Her ability to be able to roll in and out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all on the mat, transitions, is absolutely phenomenal. She does it so well. It's like watching water move. And I say this openly, mentioning before that I've never been a fan of Roxanne Perez. So it's very interesting. I think she's going to be the Money in the Bank winner. It'll be interesting to see what happens after that, but I think she's more than accomplished to do the job. So yeah, that is my review of Raw. Now, if you like the video, please like, subscribe, hit the notification button. It lets you know what I'm uploading next. Until then, I have been your Triple Crown champ. The champ is no longer here. I'll see you next time.